Imagine if they was not. Imagine if everything they say was the truth and right.
This is Serelisation. I'm here at YOYOS because I've come to see Joleon Davenue, who is a singer, songwriter and poet from East London. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for talking to me.
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. A bit stressed.
Yeah.
It's hot and clammy out here. I'm not really enjoying it, but
no.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Do you think you're ready and prepared for tonight's performance?
Ready as I ever be.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been a stressful few days. I had a lot of running up and down.
Yeah.
But, so hopefully.
But YOYOS is a brilliant venue to perform
yes,
at.
Definitely.
It's got a fantastic atmosphere, so I imagine the crowd is going to kind of keep you vibing. And
I hope so. I've performed here previously.
Right.
And it's always a good night. It's always ram-packed in there, so I always have a good time. And I just love coming back and glad they have me.
Yeah. So how did you get into what you do? It's not, I was listening to some of your tracks, they're not your conventional sing-along tracks, they're very different, and I think they're really sticking in mind. How did you come up with the concept?
Do you know what, I grew up listening to a lot of soul music and jazz music, and when I was growing up I didn't really get into that whole garage scene. And I was all, for some reason I didn't get put into that scene. I didn't click with it for some reason. I did listen to it, I did like songs, but I wasn't in that scene.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think I was an old head on young shoulders.
Yeah.
And that's what just stuck with me, and I just try to be myself when I'm at music, and that's what comes out. I don't purposely try to do it.
Yeah, it's like you're doing your own thing. Like this is what comes to you. Your voice has been described as reminiscent of Barry White. That's quite a big thing to live up to. Would you say your music is baby making music?
I can't say that. You know, I wouldn't like to make babies to my own. It'd be a bit weird, but you know, it's a great compliment to have. You know, it's nice to be compared to someone like that. So you know, just keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, more will come my way like that.
I was listening to your song Imagine, and I love it. It's really chilled out, it's really mellow, and one of the lines you say in your songs Imagine, which you have to check out by the way, go onto Joleon's MySpace page, which we'll talk about after, but there's a line in there that you say, imagine if I turned on the television and it was a black prime minister. Did you write that before or after Obama got elected?
I wrote that song about 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about 3 years ago, maybe a bit more. So
how does it? Do you know what I mean? Like to write lyrics, something like that. You know, I imagine you wrote things that you probably thought I'm never going to see in my lifetime, and then for that to happen, was that?
You know what? It was great to be alive and seeing something.
Because that's better than a black prime minister.
Definitely,
like, I mean,
definitely. When I wrote that, I just went in a zone and just basically wrote things. There was a weird song to write actually, because I just wrote the first verse and left it there for ages, and then I got the beat to it, and then I just finished off the song like maybe a year later.
Okay.
So, you know, it's an odd one, but that's been more like one of my more, how should I say, taken to songs.
What do you have a favourite song as like a vocalist, a poet? Aren't they all your favourite, or do you have some songs which you prefer to sing live that mean more to you?
Definitely. More of the stuff on my album Mellow Defiance, rather than the mixtape.
Which is out, by the way.
It's out now. Mellow Defiance, which I released last September. That's more close to me, as that was funded by myself.
Right.
Everything was done by me. The production wasn't done by me, but it was basically like that. And it just, because it's all original material, there's no samples in there, it's all live and programmed beats. And it just means a lot to me because I've done it myself, and it's my first album that I put out there officially, and I can actually say that I put an album out.
It's like your baby, isn't it? Your project.
Yes, definitely.
Do you think it's harder now than it ever was to be an artist? Like I have, you know, a few friends myself that are trying to break the music industry, and they're amazingly talented. But it just seems that a lot of talented people, a lot of talented singers or whatever, just find it that much harder. And then the people that you see coming through just seem to be so average, and you think, how did somebody invest so much money in you? You're so average. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you find it frustrating what I'm trying to say?
It is frustrating, but I understand it fully. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do understand why they do what they do. Obviously, people don't buy records anymore, so the little records that are sold, they're to the mainstream, so we have to cater for that audience. So unfortunately, I feel it's going to be like that for a very long time.
How long have you been doing what you do for?
It's coming up to 10 years now.
Wow.
I started when I was 13. I'm 23 now, so I've been doing it seriously as like my career for the last 4 years.
So for anyone watching at home that wants to get into what you're doing, you know, once they log on to your website and stuff, they'll get to hear what you do, because I can't really put what Joleon does into words because it's very different. So when you'll hear it, you'll understand. What advice would you give to people that are watching to kind of get to where you're at, and how hard it is really, but how fulfilling it is?
To be honest with you, just keep at it. I know it's the classic words, but you have to keep going, because it's that thing where there's a lot more downs than ups when you're doing what you're doing, especially when you're doing it independently. But just keep at it. It's like, I'm an independent artist, but I've been lucky enough to, you know, I've had a track on Head Candy that's coming out this month. So I opened up a Misha Barker.
Wow.
I've been to Norway, done shows out there, been to France. So it's a thing where you've got to do it, you've got to network, you've got to keep going, and then eventually, if you keep doing what you're doing and you're doing good music, people are going to take this. So.
What's your favourite Michael Jackson song?
Very hard to say, but I would say the one that always, when it comes on, that I just get goosebumps is Rock.
Yeah.
Rock is my favourite.
Makes you want to move.
Yeah, it does. Whatever mood you're in, it just makes you want to move. I love it.
So for people watching at home, how can they get in contact with you? How can they find out where you're going to be gigging next? Keep up with all the new tracks that you're going to be releasing?
Basically, just go on my website, joleon.co.uk, and you can just get all the links to MySpace, YouTube, everything to do with me. And like the album, Men of Defiance, out now on ukvigoshop.com, iTunes, and all MP3 download sites. And just check it out. Go on the website also, you can download all my mixtapes for free.
You got mixtapes?
Yes.
Now, I know it's so silly, but what is a mixtape? Is it a very American phrase? And is it something that you think nowadays, because obviously it's a lot harder for an artist, that is something they need to do? Come from the underground?
Mixtapes in America are different to mixtapes here. I would say mixtapes in America mean a lot more. I don't think we have we don't have a big enough scene to circulate mixtapes here. I think it's a thing where you just get a mixtape and throw it away.
But you've done a couple of mixtapes.
I have.
Why did you do them?
I'd done them at the time. I was a lot younger, and this was the times when I was doing a lot of work with American artists, and I was going over there, and it was more like a promotional CD more than a mixtape per se. It does help, but in this country it's not the same now. It doesn't do as much as it does in America. In America you can make money off mixtapes, like ridiculous money.
Like, I'm hearing so much buzz about this Drake artist at the moment.
He blew up.
I don't think he signed it, is he?
He blew up off of one mixtape, basically.
Wow.
He was always doing his thing by one mixtape. The format was of an album. It wasn't mixed or anything. It was just album together. So that's another example.
Now before we go, I was just wondering if we could give, you know what I'm going to ask you. I was wondering if you could give everybody at home just a little teaser. Don't give them too much. Just something to reel them in. Okay? Okay, we'll leave with you.
You can tell by the style that I'm high profile, how my style is wild like a possessed child. I struggle for miles, long like River Nile. Not bitter, still sweet boy, tainted liar. Feel pleasure with the pain, feel sun with the rain. And bleach won't work, I'm a permanent stain. Like Reebok, I want to become an icon, so you can feel my pain like venom from a python. Yes, I'm black and I'm beautiful, and yes, I'm a writer, but don't come close to Benjamin Zephaniah. Like Spencer for hire, I investigate to make sure that Joe's not second rate. I came harder than the oven, so I baked a cake. Everyone wants a piece and they just can't wait. You just air to me in a big ass balloon, and I'm the bread with the pin now. Prick, prick, boo.
Ooh. Brilliant. Serelisation, Joleon, thank you so much.
Stop talking about weapons, close eyes, visualize, see what I see. This is how things should be. Be gone every mountain today, imagine tomorrow. Remember the smile.